Welcome back. It is Thursday, October 26th in the NBA. My two favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin from Calling Our Shot. We only got two games on, but my two favorite picks are inbound. But first, we got to do a recap. I'm not going to hide from it. I have sucked this NBA season. We're only 2 days in, but 0-6. We went 0-2 on Tuesday, 0-4 yesterday. And when we talk about the losers, we had Wemby 20-plus points and 4 rebounds. Ended with 15 points, really struggled with foul trouble the whole game. Ended up, scoring a lot in the fourth quarter when they finally got him the rock. But I'm curious how his second game goes. Jordan Poole over 24.5 points. Yeah, he ended with 18? He missed every single three-pointer he attempted, and he got benched the final 6 or 7 minutes because they got blown out. And then Sabonis under, he ended with 22, and then Chet, he ended with, 11 points. 0-4, 0-6 run. Look, I could not have scripted up a worse start to the season. I do have on the screen, we placed 632 wagers on the NBA last season, the whole season. 6 out of 632 is 0.9%. So not a big sample size. We're talking about, the beginning of the NBA season, but you guys come here for winners, and I have not delivered that in whether it's the NFL or NBA. We got to get things figured out. I felt like the reads were decent yesterday. You should have at least had a winner in there, and we could not get it done. Appreciate all the comments of the love and support. I see all the hate, but it is what it is. We're going to bounce back. We always have. We've gone through worse cold streaks than this before, and we've always bounced back and been profitable. So I don't need to tell a lot of the OGs out there that we're going to bounce back, but to the new people, I know it's been a struggling part to the year. If you want to fade these two picks today, go for it. It's your money. Do whatever you want with it. Make sure you guys are confident in your picks. But my last two notes, as I did talk about yesterday, was at Wembanyama's first ever NBA game, which made it even more agonizing. But that video should be live on the second channel. It was a really cool game to go to. The atmosphere was crazy. That fourth quarter was nuts. So definitely go check out that video on the second channel. Go show it some love. I'll link it at the top of the description, as well as it is Thursday night football. So there is a game going on, Bucks versus Bills. My two favorite picks. That video was posted late yesterday. So go check out that one as well. All linked down below. But look, we need to get back. We need a winner. We need a winner. Plain and simple. Let's go to this first game on the slate, Sixers versus Bucks. And I'm going to Tyrese Maxey. I like his over 26.5 points plus assists, -121 on Caesars. Now, the next best odds I did see was -125 on DraftKings, -130 on BetMGM. Some books are going to have this at 27.5, which honestly I think is still a good line. I think Maxey could easily get into the 30-plus points and assists. And the reason I'm doing this here is because Maxey now is basically their de facto point guard with James Harden still out. I don't really know what he will look like for the Sixers this season. This is going to be a guy that's going to play a lot of minutes, and I'm not necessarily concerned about him being on a minutes limit, which we have seen on some stars. If you know anything about Nick Nurse, the new head coach for the Sixers, you don't care about minutes limit. Last year with Fred VanVleet and the Raptors, he threw Fred VanVleet out there 39 minutes on opening night. So look at Maxey to control the ball a little bit and not necessarily be James Harden for this offense, be his own, unique player, but I think he'll play pretty well and play point guard, which he has been practicing this whole preseason as. And we saw in their final game of the preseason, the only one Joel Embiid played in, he had 15 points on 5 of 11 shooting and 12 assists in 32 minutes. Now, I fully expect him to play more than 32 minutes in this game, but I do think he's going to just continue to probably the 11 field goal attempts weren't even that high. We're going to see Joel Embiid. He'll be the number one on this offense, but behind him, talking about guys like D'Anthony Melton, who actually was hot in that preseason game. I think he had 29 points. Tobias Harris, not a huge, got volume shooter. PJ Tucker, Korkmaz, Oubre Jr. Those guys coming off the bench, they don't really have a lot of volume shooters out there. So I think at the end of the day, Maxey's going to get 15-ish field goal attempts, and he's going to have the ball in his hand. And I think he could get us 5 assists, potentially with maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He could luck into that, especially with Joel Embiid on the other side. And look, their main point guard is Maxey. Behind him is Patrick Beverley. Yeah, I don't really think Nick Nurse wants Pat Bev running the show. Pat Bev will likely have his hands full probably harassing Damian Lillard on the other side the whole game. And then the shooting guards off the bench are Korkmaz and Oubre Jr. So not really a lot of guard depth in terms of point guards for this team. That's kind of why they needed James Harden, but now he's not here. And so I do think that a guy like Maxey will play pretty well. Obviously his role, it's hard to say, hey, how did he do against the Bucks last season, given his role is much different. But we did see last year, 3 games versus Milwaukee, had 29 points, 2 assists, 26 and 0 assists, and 24 and 5. So one miss was on the hook. If he gets 0 assists tonight, color me shocked, man. That would just be really, really weird. But I just don't think that's the case. Obviously, Harden was setting him up for a lot of those things. So while his high quality looks, getting those open 3-pointers, likely not the same looks he gets this season. I do think that'll get plenty of looks in this offense, given Joel Embiid's probably going to be harassed by Brook Lopez and Giannis, and it's just been a tougher matchup for Embiid to score a ton inside. I think we're going to see a lot of that pick and roll. Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey picking and popping. Look, Maxey could easily luck into like a double-double here, and it would not surprise me, but we've also seen Maxey, when he gets the volume and when he's that number 2 option on the team, we've seen him go off for 25, 30 points any given night. This is also a Bucks team that doesn't have the same, caliber of guard defense as they did last year with Jrue Holiday, who's now in Boston. With a guy like Damian Lillard, either guarding Maxey, or even if they want to put Malik Beasley on him, I think Maxey will be able to blow by both those guys, get to his spots mid-range, and knock down those shots. So, look, we're riding with you, Tyrese Maxey. We love you, man. Go get it done. If you want to do PRAs, I don't hate it, but Maxey only averaged 2.9 rebounds per game last season with the guys like Giannis and Lopez, plus Embiid, Tobias Harris, Tucker, all these guys out on the court. I'd rather not touch it. So we're rolling with Tyrese Maxey. He's over in points plus assists, sitting at 26.5. My first pick of the day. That's a winner. Let's move on to the second game, Suns versus Lakers. I'm going with Anthony Davis over 22.5 points, minus 111 on Caesars. Now, if you bet AD in game one, you got the true Anthony Davis experience. And hopefully all those people don't want to run it back, because hopefully he's a free winner today, because like I said, ultimate AD experience was in that game. In that game one of the season against the Nuggets, AD 6 for 17 from the field, scored 17 points, and it's well documented. All in the first half. He went 0 for 6 in the second half. So, I mean, yeah, that's going to be the Anthony Davis experience. Sometimes you're going to have 22 points going into the fourth, and you never get anything. But I also think they use him a little bit differently here. I think given that playoff series against the Nuggets and this matchup against Jokic, they kind of entered with the same game plan. And, hey, let's get the ball to Anthony Davis. Let's let him go one-on-one against Jokic. I don't really think that's a good style of offense, and I don't think that plays to Anthony Davis's strengths. I think his strength is, setting those screens, rolling to the rim, being able to, Euro step or, finish over guys, get to the free throw line. That's where I see his strength is, and we've seen him do pretty well against Jusuf Nurkic, the new starting center for the Suns. Obviously, Nurkic was on the Blazers last year, but we saw 2 games against him. AD scored 22 points and 27 points. 17 field goal attempts in each game. And sure, he missed on the hook once. That was a game LeBron James scored 31. And while LeBron easily could score 31 tonight, it's pretty well documented after game 1 of the season. Darvin Ham, their head coach, said, he alluded to LeBron potentially being on a minutes limit, basically at least the first couple weeks of the season, because LeBron played only 29 minutes. And I think that's going to be a common theme. That's what he made it seem like. So AD is a guy that played 34 minutes in game 1, should continue to play roughly around that. I still feel like his line, given the LeBron situation, his line should be consistently 24.5 or 25.5. We're getting a 2-point discount thanks to the second half, or lack thereof, that Anthony Davis had. So I really do think this is a good spot here. We saw Nurkic, he looked pretty solid in game 1, getting that double-double versus Golden State, but really wasn't threatened on the interior. Still picked up 5 fouls, and that's for a Golden State team that launched 43 threes. The Lakers only shot 29. So after Nurkic probably gets into foul trouble, because he does it, I swear, every game, you're going to have guys behind him like Drew Eubanks. They really don't have a lot of size behind him. So I think they won't necessarily play a lot of one-on-one with AD. Say, hey, AD, here's the ball. Go ISO on Nurkic, which he certainly can do. I think you're going to see a lot more of LeBron, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves trying to facilitate, get the ball to Anthony Davis with the full head of steam going to the rim. I think that's probably where he's a lot more successful than it is trying to have him just post up guys and just shoot fadeaways, mid-ranges over him. Still knocked down some threes in that first game, but I do think that we're going to see a big night out of AD. I think the line's a little bit too soft, given that he's going to play, 34, 35 minutes. Should be a close-ish game. I'm not touching the Sun side of it, because Devin Booker is doubtful. So is Bradley Beal. And if there's anything I know about the NBA, when those guys are doubtful, they'll play, and you'll just be like, what the heck happened? Why is Kevin? That's just how it always works. So I'm not going to touch anything with the Sun side of the equation. Probably will be the case while they still have guys on the injury report. You don't really want to mess with those unless you know exactly who's playing. But our 2 plays today, I know it's been a bad start to the year. This is a 2-0 card. Speaking it into existence, Tyrese Maxey over 26.5 points plus assists, and Anthony Davis over 22.5 points. A reminder, if you really want to go show some love to the second channel, hopefully you enjoy the Victor Wembanyama NBA debut. The video is really cool. Go check it out. Should be live pretty much right after this video drops. I'll link it on the screen, as well as our favorite Buccaneers versus Bills best bets video, also linked on the screen. Let's have a bounce back day. I know it hasn't been a great start to the NBA season. Let's wipe the slate clean. Let's get back to winning. That's what you guys expect. And I'll be back in tomorrow recapping a 2-0 day. I'll see you guys then. Peace.